Well, something very different for Campbell's Comments. I've spent the day here at Berragoon Stud. Sara Grills. I was going to say Sarah Mills, but I'll get myself into trouble. But Sara, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
And Charlie, thank you very much for having me and Holly here today. We've had an amazing day. What an amazing farm you guys have got.
Our pleasure. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It is really cool, and it's a huge operation, isn't it?
Yeah, some would say too big sometimes, but that's been negative.
Well, I've been given the heads up. I've been given a little bit of the heads up, says that there's almost two sides to the family. One side want to go one way and one side want to go another way. Would that be fair?
Probably it is, yeah, but it just depends on which side's winning at the time.
Yeah, I know. Well, that was actually what was said, and they point. But it is a big family venture. You've got extended family and you've got other people here as well. But do you like one pinch yourself or sort of kick yourself sometimes at how big it has actually got?
Yeah, well, it's actually gotten bigger than I ever thought it would, and that's largely because my children decided that we needed to have more and more and more, and then the sales grown so big that we had to breed a certain amount of horses to maintain the number in the catalogue, and then it just sort of has grown even more than that. So it's good, but it's also, you know, we either need more paddocks or sell more horses.
Well, rumour has it you're on that side of more, and that you're looking over the back there at the bloke eating chips, and he might be on your side.
He's definitely on my side.
Yeah, he definitely is. I know that.
But the other side of the fence might not be on my side.
Oh, no, it does come to the pitfalls, Charlie. I mean, we've just come off a very, very bad drought. We're still, I shouldn't say come off, because it is actually still here, even though we have had some welcome rain, and it does have its challenges. Do you enjoy it?
Oh, yeah, I enjoy this.
Yeah, and the challenges that come with it?
I don't enjoy the drought.
No.
It's one thing that really gets to me, but, you know, that's part of life.
It is, and the welcome rain that has come, though, that's a spin-off, and it's, you know, gives you a bit more spring in your step.
Oh, immediately, like it just changes everything. So
the Berragoon sale, I was lucky. We were just talking there before. I was a little bit angry with myself because I only allowed half a day because I actually had to do paid work, which is overrated. But I was fortunate enough to be there for part of it. Has it exceeded you guys' expectations of what you were hoping to achieve, I suppose?
Yeah, well, when we had 35 horses, or 37 horses, I said to Michael Glasser and these guys, well, who's going to come?
Yeah.
And now it's 120 or 50 horses and no parks.
Yeah, and they come from everywhere. It's a lot of walking. I do know that. I actually had my ropers on last year. Next year I'm wearing my runners. I know that much, because you have to cover a lot of territory. But it's got to be so good, not only for you guys and your brand, but also for the Polo Cross, but also Holbrook, the whole community of people around.
Yeah, it's probably, this last sale is probably the most enjoyable. I've enjoyed the sale because everyone's got it's like a process now. It all happens, and I think we don't worry so much about it as well. But it's doubled what I thought it would ever get. And we thought about bringing it out here, and the sale we had before, I think the Polo Cross, I might have been the first one of those. I just grabbed Jim and took him aside and said, look at this, we can never take this to home. It's too big, there's too many, it's got too big, and it's got bigger. And it will get bigger? I don't know.
It will. I mean, I was fortunate enough to see it, and these sorts of things grow. I think your model is sustainable, so you're not about having 250 horses there. You're going to have whatever you can breed, but what you're achieving on the sidelines, you've got the Polo Cross events, which was terrific. There were the things I missed out on, but also you had the camp draft, you had competitions. The Black Hats was awesome.
Ideas, man.
I gave the rap to Luce because I thought, well, she's a marketing person, but she actually said that it was his idea as well. But those sorts of ideas, you're only going to create an event. You might not sell more horses, but it's just going to get bigger and better in a great way.
Absolutely. I mean, the Black Hat thing was crazy. Like, when Jim came up with it and he said, you know, I've got this idea, and you know, we'll have this and that, and I said, let's see if anyone's going to do that. Like, who's going to first of all want to jump on horses they've never ridden before in front of a crowd and do it? And Jim goes, oh, I'll just ask. They said yes. I was like, wow. And it was great. Like, it got everybody's interest in, and, you know, our horses don't regularly camp draft, but I thought it was awesome.
I can say that if he gets the names that he's asking for this year as well, it's going to be a much vented thing. The spin-off of that though too, you get so many local quality horse people that are in this area and around Emerald O'Shea, the Bandies and things. Yeah, they are buying into what you're putting on as well. They might not necessarily, may not necessarily want to buy a horse, but they realise to be a part of these events, you have to buy a horse. So that gets them buying in, which is so good for the horse industry, especially down here in the bottom of the New South Wales.
Yeah, I think so. And I also reckon the fact that we do sell out all our colt foals as foals, it absolutely has like a floor in the market, and you can get in at the bottom level and you can take one of them home and break it in, do it your way, and you're not relying on buying one and started someone else's way and you've got to change it. So you see a lot of like those young foals going through, and then we've seen them this year, particularly at our Barastoc. They've gone to new owners and they're all performed really well, so that's great.
And you're also branching out, you're selling at other sales as well, so to get the brand out there. I did ask about the PMB, that's Mum's brand with Berragoon underneath.
That's it, yeah. My mum's Pam Mills and Berragoon's for the B. Yeah.
So who wears the pants in this family, Charlie?
No, well, our brand is SCG.
Never been on anything.
Sara
okay. Well, they built a stadium after it, but that's about all you got.
But you know, that's the brand. It's here to stay. It's what we are.
Yeah, and I will put it up. I'll get the Lucy to send me the proper logo. I'll make sure I got the proper one, because she said it's got to be silver. You're going to have different hats and things along those lines. But she said it branded a certain way. But that's important. It's important to continue to brand it and get the message out there. But the whole spin-off of this gets people interested in Polo Cross. Holly was doing a little bit of Polo Cross as well. Even if people go there, whether they buy a horse, whether they go camp drafting and things like that.
We could do something with Holly pretty quick.
He keeps saying that we've got an issue at home, but that's okay. But to be able to get people interested and involved in Polo Cross, which is a great sport that a lot of people don't know nothing about.
Yeah, well, it's selling itself. What happens at that sale on those fields in Holbrook at the start of the year with the two divisions, and it just sells itself. People are lining up. Like, we're going to fill those teams for a long time.
People are already now putting their teams together to play Polo Cross, and I'm talking about the people that aren't regular Polo Cross players, like you're talking about your bandies and that are getting teams together to play in it now. So it's good.
Yeah, and if he gets his mystery man coming, I want to see him on the Polo Cross field as well, because that actually would be pretty cool. And if he's watching this, I'm challenging you to do it. So,
well, who's the mystery man? Because
I can't say yet. You've got to wait till you get him. But
I think I got a fair idea. But,
it'd actually be very, very cool.
I think he wears a black hat a fair bit of the time too.
He wears, But anyway, we won't go there. As a Polo Cross person, are you happy with the direction that the industry's going?
Oh, enormously. It's changed so much in the last 15 years, it's not funny.
Yep.
The breeding, the quality of horses that are playing Polo Cross is enormous to what it used to be. There's not one or two good horses at a carnival, there's 20 good horses there.
Yep. And you guys want to continue to improve the breed and get that message out there? Yeah,
well, we've never been scared of competition.
Yep.
And that's, I remember Daryl Smith saying to me once at Landmark, what if one of those geldings that you sell at that sale is a champion? I said, well, good luck to the bloke that's got the champion and it's got our brand on it.
You'll come back next year?
Let's go.
I said there about the breed. That's a part that you're very passionate about, improving the breed. A lot of embryo work here with your mares, and trying to improve the breed, get better horses competing, get better horses to be out there to be ridden, because they've got the opportunity of buying some of these horses as well that come through the sales. It's something you're very, very passionate about. Yeah, look, I think we've had a couple of pretty nice mares, and to be able to utilise embryo transfer to maximise their genetic potential has been huge for us. And then you get yourself to a stage where you can actually, you don't want to hoard them in your back paddock. So to be able to breed them and then sell them, I think is pretty cool. Yeah, I think it's very exciting. I think what you guys are doing is outstanding. I really do appreciate it. You looked after Holly today. The horses we've seen on the farm have been, I marvel at it, actually. I marvel at how quiet they are. And I like the fact you're getting some Palominos. I don't know if that was by intention or not, but...
Jimmy probably only took you to those paddocks that the Palominos were in, did he?
He did sort of suggest that this one was one of his favourites, I must say. So, but that might be how he plays it. But I think it's awesome, and I think it's great.
But we also have some horses that we have out that we own still that other people, that good people are playing.
And that's what you want to do as well?
Oh, for sure. We just love seeing our horses play.
Yeah.
And you put good people, good friends on them, and you know.
And be able to retain the breeding to some of them. That's the most important thing for me, is because I can remember years ago, and you'd sell out, you know, a filly foal, and you'd only got that one filly from the mare, and then the mare died, and then you've lost that whole mare line. It's really important to me personally to be able to retain the mare's lines. So to be able to have other people play them and then be able to retain some breeding rights in them is ultra good.
Do you study your breeding? Like, do you... by the sounds of it, that's a dangerous question.
She just knows it.
Well, I don't actually study it, but I tend to follow, if I see it and I like it, I tend to try and just match it with the mares that I think it'll suit without getting too scientific about it, to be honest. Yeah. And generally I want to breed what we like, not what the market likes, if that makes sense. I don't want to go and breed into something because it's a flavour. If it's what works for us here, that's what we want to breed.
It was exciting. Guys, thank you. As I said, I had an idea in my head when I was driving up here, and it's been blown right out of the water. Well, that part, because we got here and it was a little bit late, but that part doesn't matter. I'm going to catch up with Lucy in a second, then I'm going to catch up with Jimmy at the end. But thank you for what you guys have been able to achieve. It's awesome. Thanks for having us here.
Thank you for coming.
I really appreciate it, and I will be at Berragoon second weekend of January, basically, next year. But there's a couple other events coming up as well, and I'll touch on those with Jimmy in the Holbrook area as well. But thank you very much, guys, for the hospitality. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Right, catching up now with Lucy Grills here at Berragoon Breeding Stud. What is officially the name of it?
Berragoon Stock Horse Stud.
Stock Horse Stud. I'll get into trouble for that part a fair bit. I give people other names. Part of the, I suppose, one family, the competition point. You enjoy the competition?
Yeah, love it. Yep. It's a big part of our lives. It has been since I started playing when I was 6, so haven't missed a year since then. And love it. It's a great family sport. We grew up doing it. Mum and Dad played, and then now Jim and I. Yeah, Dad still plays a little bit, but yeah, we love it. We get to go all over the world doing it. So
yeah, and we were just saying there before, like you. Planning 2 years out, basically, for the World Cup, potentially. Hopefully. But I mean, you're planning that far out. Like, it's a big commitment, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think, I look back when I set a goal to play a World Cup when I was 11, and it took me 11 years to make that dream come true. But I think, like anything, if you want to do it, you put the work in. And once you get into that position and you know how fortunate you are to be there, then... Yeah, 2 years is probably not that long in the big scheme of things, really.
I mean, that gets you going from there. Big operation, this. A lot of commitment from everyone. You enjoy the major commitment, if you like, from the family point of view?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I don't know, I think Mum and Dad have always been, can go and do whatever you want. You don't have to stay here. But I think, the lifestyle and the fact that you get to... be a part of something like this that, they've built over such a long time. And Mum's mum founded the stud back in 1974, and just to be able to build on what they created out at Hay and then see where it's going now, it's exciting, and it's something that, I love being a part of it. You have
a different side to the business in a way. I think everyone probably promotes. It doesn't matter what you do, you are promoting, but that's the side that you're taking on now, like the promotion, getting the message out there about what you guys are doing here, what you're trying to achieve, I suppose your goals. How did that come about?
So when I left school, I went to Melbourne and studied to be a graphic designer, and then came home, I pretty much worked freelance for myself started my own sort of freelance business under Two Dots, and have just, when we decided to do the sale in 2014, I was like, I can make the catalogue. And then as the sale evolved and then the incentive part of it grew, I think the marketing and promotional side of things, obviously, like you say, you've got to hop on that train and get familiar with it. And it's kind of been a really nice parallel to my business, and being able to sort of get them both going together.
There's no mistake. Two Dots. We've seen Two Dots. So I've got a couple of photos. I'll make sure I put one over there. It's quite novel, because I've seen you, because I follow your Facebook page, and I've seen you didn't put two and two together until Jimmy points it out. But basically, two whirls, which is very common through a lot of the breeds here. So you started that up, and now you've come back in a way to actually promoting this side of it and taking it full on. So it's a nice little
full circle.
But also, symmetry, isn't it, in a way?
Yeah, like I think when we were growing up and we'd be, go with mum and looking at, a bit of horse sales and looking at horses, and she's like, oh, that one's got Two Dots, I like that. And when I was looking to name my business, I was like, well, you want something unique and special, and something's got a bit of a point of difference. I was like, it seems like a perfect alignment.
We saw a couple in the ones and twos. I can't remember their names, I'll get in trouble, but definitely got them, and I'll make sure that they're over the top of us. Now, it is a challenge. You and I were talking, I suppose, off air, with a little bit of similarities, if you like, and what's the best way to go about it. What is the challenges that you see, if you like, promoting what you guys do here, and also the plus sides of it?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's tricky. Obviously, you want eyeballs on your business, but I think it's a bit like our breeding program here. When mum breeds for something that you want to ride, and I think the content that we produce and is something that I want to look at and that makes you feel something, essentially. Like, that's what resonates the best, and it's sort of just telling the story that we live every day, I guess. And to us, sometimes it seems kind of mundane and boring, but that's the stuff that does well on socials. So I think we're all a bit the same, in that we love to know what other people are doing, and we're a bit nosy in that regard. And I think, it's a nice way to show people what happens day to day. And it's stuff when it makes you feel good and you like the look of it, because I'm quite a visual person and I want it to look nice. That seems to be the stuff that hits well.
It's actually funny. There will be one person would have watched it. I actually had my sunglasses on me, and Barastoc supporters of mine, covering those things up, like you say, make things look good. Be aware of what you're doing actually when you are doing it, because you got the red hat, and it does stand out. It's a very brave hat, but there is a reason for it, and it pops. But you have the sunglasses over the top, and it sort of half loses that effect. So it is one that I did get to a while ago. Do you have to promote what you guys are doing here, like in a way?
I think it's nice to be able to tell that story.
No, definitely nice. But do you have, like, it's probably a side of it you may not have to do, but you guys choose to do it? Is that?
I don't think you have to do it. But I think, I think now Sarah's horses and the program that we've got here, it probably, the results are speaking for themselves a little bit within our sport. I know at Barastoc the other week we had outstanding results of horses that had been bred here and then went through our sale or sold before we started the sale playing, and it was a phenomenal achievement. So I think, the writing's on the wall and the runs are on the board with the horses, but it's nice to tell the story as well.
Yeah. And show the other side of things sometimes as well, because people might turn around and just say it is business, because it is. Yeah. This is a big business, this whole farm, let alone polo, let alone all the other sport horse components that are really gaining so much attention now, because they're a great lifestyle. I think it is big business, and so you got to make sure you're doing it the right way.
Yeah. And that's what I mean before, like, if it's authentic to you, it doesn't really matter then what you put out in the world. People, they either like it or they don't, and it's a bit like personalities, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it is. I was recently at your sale. Yeah. I'm going to say hats off to you, and I'm expecting a black hat if you do it again next year. For starters, doing things a little bit differently, and the battle of the black hats is a little bit tongue-in-cheek. Trav and Will taking on each other in, I think they had 8 rides each, in six rides each in the camp draft, best score, and I think there was about 40 points difference between the pair of them. But when I saw the battle of the black hats, that for itself, like, I mean, and these are the things that can capture people's attention. And when you say that, and when you saw the brochure, it was two black cowboy hats and Yellowstone, you know, all these other shows that are coming out now. It's smart because it actually does click with people.
So I think I can't take any credit for the Battle of the Black Hats. That's Jim. He's a big ideas man. I just like to bring his
Dad Jim?
Brother Jim.
Jimmy. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. He's the ideas man behind that, and a lot of those kind of things. And then that's probably where we work well together. He's got lots of ideas, and I like to bring them to life. So yeah, we have a good relationship like that. Yeah,
but it grows a wider audience. That's, I think, whether, you know, he's riding around on a horse and he might be a bit like me. You have a mad minute and you think of, you know, how things work or where things can work, but that captures a totally different audience.
Huge.
Which we need. And I say I'm easy, I'm on the outside, but all these sports need this sort of, you know, people getting involved, if you like, in the sports. And you could capture a corporate that, you know, sitting in a high-rise board, has a cutting horse, has a camp draft horse, might only have a pony in the paddock.
Yeah, for sure.
And he says, right, I'm going to drive to Holbrook. I'm going to go and watch. Then all of a sudden he realises, I can buy a horse here.
Yeah.
I can come back next year.
Yeah, and I think that's what's unique about, obviously the incentives has grown our sale no end, but being able to incorporate the Polo Cross alongside the camp drafting, alongside the challenge, and people can go there and watch a horse play in the Polo Cross in the morning, draft at lunchtime, go in the challenge in the afternoon, and then be playing Polo Cross again that night.
Yep.
And it definitely showcases the versatility of the horses, but it's also, you're able to see that they're not just Polo Cross horses, they're not just camp draft horses, they're not just challenge horses.
Yeah.
You know, there's a broad market there for whatever you want to do on them. Fair chance is they're going to do something that you want to do.
And the spin-off of that is the people, the jockeys, are not just camp drafters, or they're not just...
No.
And they are not just, you know, like I'm a Standardbred person, but at the end of the day, they are people that love horses, love company, love having a good time.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of these things are about.
Yeah, for sure. And it's been really cool to see, you know, like, for instance, Morgan and Emma Webb playing a bit of Holi Cross, go there, absolutely dominate the draft, kill it in the challenge. Like, they're phenomenal horse people, but it shows that, you know, there's one weekend where you get to do all of that at the one time.
Scotty and Trav, they had their own team.
That was pretty cool this year watching them play.
Yeah.
And it's exciting to watch it grow. And I think from where it started, you know, a couple of years ago we had 4 teams, 6 teams, and then where it's at this year, it was it's massive, and it's cool. It's very cool.
Do you have goals? Do you have ideas where you'd like to see it?
Yeah. I think, you know, facility wise, we've got to do a little bit of work in there to be able to continue to grow it. But yeah, there's places we want to go with it for sure.
Yeah, and the results last year were...
Look, I think considering the season, our young stock sold phenomenally well. The ridden horses were tough enough, but I think considering, you know, like we've finally got some rain, but we've just come out of one of the worst summer, autumn periods we've ever experienced here the entire time Mum and Dad have been here. So I think, you know, that's going to follow on. And it is just, we work in 12-month cycles. Next year, you don't know what's going to happen. And just keep backing up. The product's still the same, and some people will have got a bargain this year, and hopefully they'll be back to get a good one next year.
And that's what you want. You want return buyers. And I do think, like, I come from a harness point of view, I think the performance horse people right across the board, that's one thing they do to encourage people to come back.
Yeah.
Because basically there's incentive drafts.
Yeah.
There's incentives. Is there incentive Polo Cross?
Yeah.
There is?
It's massive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's big. And it's growing, and the people trying to secure horse flesh to play in that, you know, looking 2 years out, they're looking at buying them as yearlings and bringing them on and trying to find ones in between to fill the gaps until they're the right age. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, it's only going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Do you get a bit of kickback? Do you get people try to say, don't promote it as strong?
Not so much with our sale.
No.
It's and I think we're in a great place because we're kind of out of season for nearly everything.
Yep.
So close to Christmas and stuff. It's a really good time, and, you know, other than being a bit hot, the sale, it's going well, and it's not much kickback on it.
No. When is the sale this year?
It'll be the second weekend in January.
Second week in January,
Yeah.
so it's actually 2026.
Yeah.
That's scary in itself.
Yeah, it's not far away. Planning's already underway for next year.
That is a little way away. I will actually be there, but the second weekend in January, we want to make sure people are aware of it as
so
well.
it's around the 9th. I actually haven't got the dates on the top of my head.
We have a
but
different colour hat next year.
yeah, we'll have lots of different coloured hats next year.
We're talking about that all there. Could be a new one for my collection. Luce, thank you. I know you have to get to a football match, otherwise you're going to be in trouble. Aussie rules or rugby?
Aussie rules, yeah.
Oh, even better. We're
Yeah.
in New South Wales and they're talking
Yeah,
Aussie rules.
no.
I even like this. Do appreciate it. I love what the farm's doing and I love the openness of the whole family. I really appreciate it. I think it's a great product. And well done to yourself with 2 dots, but also,
Thank you.
thinking a little bit differently as well. I think it's what we need to do for the industry. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and thanks for your time. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you. Right, as I said at the start of this interview, this wasn't exactly what I had planned for the day. Jimmy Grills joins me. Firstly, Jimmy, thank you very much for answering my phone call and having me here. It was a little bit of a whim. I wasn't sure exactly how this would work, and it's an amazing place you guys, your family, have been able to build, and the direction and I suppose the way you guys are sending Polo Cross and the equestrian sport, I think, is outstanding.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and we appreciate you guys coming up and having a look. Firstly, but it's pretty cool to show you around and have a few nice horses to look at.
If anyone doesn't watch Holi's interview, you are the Australian Polo Cross captain. You have a huge passion for Polo Cross, but following you around, looking at the horses you were showing us today, showing the girls work horses up the hill, galloping, and a lot of that stuff I'll be putting over the top probably of us right now. You just have a passion for horses in the equestrian field. Would that be fair?
Yeah, definitely. It's grown a lot lately. Probably when I say lately, the last 5 to 10 years. But definitely, it's pretty cool to just have a horse, understand a horse of what I like in my horses now, and have an understanding of what I'm chasing. And I'm in a very lucky position where I can draw from a pool of about 100 horses, if you know what I mean. And lines.
You take the risk, like you say that, but you are taking the risk, and we touched on that, like Dave was saying about the drought. And I think the older you get, droughts definitely knock you around. I can say that from experience myself. So there is always those risks with them. So you're entitled to have the reward out the other side.
Yeah, definitely, and I guess you make your own luck as well. So there's both sides to that, and the seasons, I believe, will change, and we'll have good times as well. So you got to cop a little bit of the bad with the good, but yes, definitely feel blessed, but also just excited and keen to keep working with. I know we look through paddocks and paddocks of young horses, and I can't wait till my ankle's ready and I can get on a few of them to see where my next one's at.
You've been on a few, but that part will come. You're going over to South Africa soon. There's plenty more coming out, plenty more exciting stuff coming out with Polo Cross. We're not going to go into too many details in that. You guys have got your sale. You've got Barastoc as well, which I'm going to have to try and get to Warwick in an odd time of the year to cover off on that. But it is exciting, the direction Polo Cross is going. Just talking to yourself and Dad and even Mum there before, the direction it's heading is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. Like if we work back from 2027's the next World Cup, and you got Barastoc, you got Nationals next year in Darwin, so that's a massive one on everyone's Polo Cross calendar to travel to Darwin, because it's a big family thing as well. Like you're on the truck for 9 to 7 days with a crew of 5 and 6 trucks travelling to Darwin, and you're away for a month. So that's another side of Polo Cross that you get out of that, and and then back through, Australian squads are starting to come together, which is going to be very exciting with a new direction we're going there, and really just starting to up-level ourselves in a professional way, I find, which has probably come through a bit of a footy background and our Polo Cross world ready to try and take the next step and get back on top where we belong.
And even talking to Lucy there before about the way you promote, the way you try to do the sport differently, reach a different market if you like. You guys are full on embracing that. As I said, I rocked up to Holbrook last year on a whim. I just sort of cruised up, and you guys were flat out, couldn't give me enough time. You're saying, go and interview this guy. I interviewed a guy from Zimbabwe. You interview this bloke. You understand that you need to get the message out there to grow this sport. Yeah,
and I think definitely understand it from a point of view of like playing footy, and the amount of footy players that I've played with at Albury come out and just fall in love with the sport. So, and you get to meet a guy from Zimbabwe and a good player from Queensland, and that's sort of what we're trying to create with the sale. Is if you put the work in and you can breed yourself 5 good horses and have a wage, and we know that the camp draft industry's sort of gone that way, and that's blokes' jobs now, and they can do it as a profession. Like, we want 16-year-old kids and 18-year-old kids to believe that they could be those players one day and come to a sale and make a wage and, head that way.
The beauty of what you are doing, though, as well, I mentioned some names there before: Scotty Bandy, Travis Bandy, Emma O'Shea Morgan, Webb. I'm getting in trouble if I forget his last name, and it's Emma Webb. But camp draft people that are crossing over, but they're not just that. Like when you talk Bandies, man from Snowy River, Emma, lady from Snowy River. These are horse people that are getting into an industry that you're passionate about. But your horses also then can do camp drafting, they can do man from Snowy Rivers, they can do any of these things. You're not breeding one specific horse, you're actually doing something, but getting the message out there and trying to grow a sport, which is so good for communities, not just like Holbrook, but there's so many communities right across Australia that it's so good for.
Yeah, definitely. And all those names of those people that you've just mentioned are just open-minded people that are great in their own sport and then want to be open-minded to get better in other sports. And I think when you concoct a good horse with those sort of people with an open mind, and the whole industry is just growing and growing.
Mate, thank you. Really do appreciate it. You're going to do an interview with Holi in a second, a bit more about your Australian captaincy and that direction. I really do appreciate it. I reckon when I was in January, I think it was stinking hot. It's freezing cold here tonight. But I do really appreciate it, and I want to continue to do some more things. As I said, there's a couple of ideas that are coming up. Hopefully I'll be able to get to those, but I'll definitely be back at Holbrook next year for the sale, and cover off on a couple of those the other events, the camp draft, and see some of the Polo Cross. I really think it's a message. We need to get it out there. We need to get more and more people involved. I'm sure as an Australian captain you want that, but as a horse lover, we need more people playing with horses and more people enjoying horses. The world will be a better place.
100%, yeah. And if we can, everyone's got to retire from footy around 35, 40, so they might as well have 15 years riding horses after that, shouldn't they? You're
going better than me. I think I was retired at 14. I don't know. The coach said something about no good. I'm not sure exactly what that meant. Mate, thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. The hospitality your family has shown me and Holly has been outstanding, and I really do appreciate it and love what you guys are doing here. So thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming up.